Hi Temple family, it gives me great pleasure to share with you how God has been working in my life. Although I have worked full-time in my own woodworking business, my background has been in emergency services. I first became alarmed at the rate of growth and spread of the COVID-19 in January, and since then I have tracked the growth and inferred a great risk and impact to Canada, but my main focus was a strong impression that I needed to protect my large family, and in particular my wife June. With her complex health history of pulmonary embolisms and pneumonia, a common cold could land her in the hospital. From all the research I did not expect that she could live through the virus. So I was grateful for my master's degree in disaster management and put all the protocols in place well ahead of government recommendations. Self-isolating, cancelling vacation plans, I was the only one to leave the house once weekly with a mask and gloves. I stripped down in the garage before re-entering our home. So I was grateful for the training that had prepared me to protect my family, and I warned anyone who would listen to me of the dangers. One day my mom called and was completely isolated and was very afraid. She and her elderly sister needed someone to care for them. Given that we had already put protective measures into place, it seemed logical that they would come and stay with us. But in spite of our best efforts to keep everyone safe, 2 weeks later my mom was diagnosed with COVID-19 and June's lungs were bleeding. When the onset of flu came to my mom, she moved back home with her sister and recovered fully in a week. Her sister thankfully did not get sick, and the rest of my family overcame cold-like symptoms to varying degrees, but as we expected, it hit June really hard. She was in bed, she was desperate for oxygen, and my best efforts to keep her safe had failed. Everyone believed that June should go to the hospital, but she refused. She wasn't being foolish, and in fact, we had talked at length months prior, and it was clearly a personal choice. Given her history, we were well equipped with breathing machine, home oxygen, and access to a fabulous doctor. She did not believe the hospital could do anything more except a ventilator, which she strongly opposed. And with confidence that God held her eternity, she was willing to die if that was what He allowed. And as well as the nebulizer and antibiotics, June's doctor was even willing to send over end-of-life medications to help with the pain. In my 15 years of firefighting, I had seen a lot of death. The low point was June waking Sunday morning with a blue color in her face, low oxygen levels, and glazed eyes. And in that moment, no amount of education, preparation, or training mattered. The children and I had church in our bedroom. We said our goodbyes, sharing happy memories of how June had touched our lives, and I was losing my closest and dearest friend. One of my hardest phone calls was telling June's brother that we were losing her. Pastor John was very supportive through this. He assembled the elders on Zoom for prayer. Our church prayed, and God moved. Her lungs stopped bleeding, and I don't have an explanation for it other than God performed a miracle. He preserved June's life and restored her health. She improved day by day and is now able to go long stretches without oxygen. The balance of my family, thankfully, only suffered mild symptoms and are now symptom-free, and the health department, who tracked our case daily, released us completely yesterday. So I am so grateful for this gift, more time with June, and I have not stopped thanking the Lord. I am confident that what our enemy intends for evil, God can use for good in calling hearts to Him. God is in control. He holds our very life in His hands, and it's exciting to know He has more work for us to do. The Christian life is nothing if it is not adventurous, and there's nothing easy about it. But God is enough. When you rest securely in His love, even our very lives we can hold loosely. I really hope you know the peace and joy that I have in my life, not from good circumstances, but from a secure foundation. I've seen God's good hand at work in my life and anticipate how much greater when I see Him face to face. If you don't know Jesus, I'd be happy to introduce you to Him, and you can feel free to contact me anytime, Dean Hansen, through the church.